And we are live. So, good morning to everybody. Welcome to Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is November 23rd, 2021. So, pretty volatile session yesterday. We had a bit of a shakeup in the markets as we got some news regarding the continuation of Jerome Powell's term into a second term, along with the fact that the market was looking at a difference between the two candidates, one of them being a bit more hawkish and one of them being a bit more dovish. Our continuation into that term may be seen as a bit more of a hawkish stance compared to the alternative. And we did see some profit taking and volatility shake up into the overall market. So when we look at our SPX expected move, we're basically looking at a market that is starting to potentially threaten some of our downside option targets for the expected move on the week. Keep in mind, this is a shortened week. We do have holiday and a half day on Friday, but we still have these levels marked. And the understanding here is that if we are to see continuation to the downside, basically some bearish momentum coming off of this false breakout look on the chart, then we are looking at a possible move to that lower bound of the expected move and potentially some hedging activity if we start to breach and test this area. So looking at our SPY, so we shift back into our regular charts, we see that same overall look, the idea of this false breakout in regards to our range. Just want to note that this is often indicative of a lack of momentum, as we had a new all-time high, but of course, either profit taking and new shorts implementing their short positions near the highs, basically top fishing the market, are providing some of that bearish momentum to the downside. So when it comes to these false breakout looks, we obviously want to be prepared for some of the worst case scenarios, which would be something like weekly to monthly consolidation. That's where the market basically sets a top, and that top is not tested for an extended period of time as we get fading down to lower support zones, along with some potentially short-term opportunities if this is just a short-term top that was set, basically a pause in the bullish trend that we've been seeing in the market. So how can we start to anticipate some of those scenarios? Well, oftentimes we'll start off with sort of the best case scenario, which is if this is truly a false breakout look, we want to be looking at value zones inside of the range that the false breakout occurred in. Essentially, the marketplace was unable to carry forward and range expand, so the market often will retreat back to high volume areas of interest in the price. Things like VPOC are often clear areas to target on these false breakouts, as they're more conservative, a bit mid-range inside of the range that you're trying to expand from. And if we shift it down further, you can see that we actually are landing approximately at this VPOC area. This is a past 10 days of trading activity, and you can see the high volume node at about 467.20, which is where the market is stalling in pre-market at this time. This was notable because a couple of sessions prior, this actually was a bit of a neutral spot for the market. The idea that we did get a bullish thrust to test the all-time highs was a signal that tech sector was actually continuing in its momentum. But as we saw, the tech sector had a sharper sell-off yesterday, and that brought the overall markets back to this sort of neutral zone. Now, that is probably the most conservative pullback that we could be looking for. That one's already been accomplished. But let's look at some more deeper corrections that could occur. We need to be cognizant of the fact that this was a false breakout of a range. And usually with false breakouts, you're often not only targeting your value zone, usually somewhere mid-range, but you're also looking at the best case scenario for a short in this position, which is going to be your prior support. Now, if you're looking at it daily, this might not be as clear as a support area, but it is essentially the most recent pullback. A lot of people will start to look at sort of these higher lows along the dominant bullish trend. And that certainly is where we are stalling at this point. But once again, that's more indicative of a value zone as opposed to a support level that's been confirmed. The idea here is pretty simple. This low was able to stall the recent pullback. And not only was this low able to form a support area for a bounce, but that bounce got full 100% follow through, i.e., even though we are getting a false breakout, we are still seeing this low carry the market forward for a back test, testing previous all-time highs. And then, of course, the lack of follow through on Monday, setting up the stage for another move down into the mid-range area. Now, what is the cause of all this volatility? More notably, we saw that the Nasdaq Stocks yesterday had a lot of the selling volume inside of the session. The news that came out on an intraday session sort of shook up the overall market as we were seeing a bit of a bullish move in the morning session, leading to what's often referred to as a rounded reversal. Market profile theorists often think about this as very clear reversal structures because, along with the fact of its location near the top end of a range, bit of an overextension for the Nasdaq stocks, not only was the market able to give back all of the intermarket gains, basically the morning session rally was given back, but additionally, on bounce attempts, we were unable to get back into that morning auction range, and we saw continual follow through into the close, setting the stage for bears to basically take over in the short term and lead to a deeper correction. Now, when we look at the Nasdaq as a whole, this is, of course, our dominant index. It's been making new all-time highs. We've seen a lot of strength relative to the overall market inside of tech, inside of consumer discretionaries. And notwithstanding, we are also seeing a bit of a divergence inside of communication. This is going to be stocks specific to things like Google and Facebook, but also some underperformers overall, the likes of mobile providers and some of these oversold stocks, some of which are coming off of earnings, the likes of Disney seeing a sell swing post earnings, and some of our gaming stocks, which have been hit significantly on either company bad news or just lack of profits in the lead up to the holiday season. So when we're looking at Nasdaq stocks, we have our sector approach. Get back to tech. But we also have what has been a more dominant area of the Nasdaq, and that's going to be our semiconductor stocks. So seeing that sell swing start to form in yesterday's session, specifically at all-time highs, along with the type of market cap that is being changed in such a short period of time, the likes of Nvidia being the main call out here, we need to understand that while this is, from a day trading perspective, very profitable and very volatile to take advantage of, it has underlying effects to the overall market. One thing you want to remember is that a stock like Nvidia at some points in yesterday's session was approaching a $1 trillion market cap. Here we can see that on yesterday's close, we essentially came back down to about an 800 billion market cap. But given the size of the sell swing and the volatility throughout yesterday's session, you can understand that during the selling event, we were looking at multiple billions of market cap being lost from this company. And that, of course, is reflected pretty heavily inside of a market cap weighted index like the Nasdaq 100. So it's the same concept that we've talked about in other stocks like Tesla, where these are multi-billion to potentially multi-trillion companies, but the volatility in certain key underlyings is so much higher than our large market cap names. And therefore, the same sort of stock price volatility is leading to more or less higher market cap volatility in our index products. And it's something that ultimately you can sort of dig in to see for yourself, whether you're looking at something like a heat map, where you can really get a sense of how weak the overall information tech, consumer discretionary, and communication service sectors were yesterday. Some notable green standing out, the likes of Tesla, which didn't really have as significant of a sell swing, and Apple, which made a new all-time high, but gave back a lot of that morning profitability. You can see what that looks like on a chart and all of these sort of rounded reversal structures that have formed. But understand that if this was a more heavily correlated sell, i.e. the likes of Tesla and Apple actually going red on the day, you can understand how significant the pullback would have been in the Nasdaq. So this is what we've been sort of cautioning the overall market structure to be. The likes of tech being our sort of linchpin for market strength whenever we had relatively poor breadth throughout the entire rest of the market. And while we did see selling in technology, we did see a bit of rotation come back into our more oversold areas of the market. We called out something, called out something as simple as financials, which are coming into a range high support, testing it on Friday's session with indecision, and then seeing a bit of a gap up, both with the news along with some of the morning rally that occurred in the overall market. Now, into the afternoon close, there was a bit of a sell swing. Markets ultimately start to correlate as selling pressure continues. But imagine for a moment that financials did not have this type of rotation. We were seeing some strength come back into financials that ultimately held the SPY a bit higher than the likes of the Nasdaq. That's also true for energy, not necessarily a strong market cap leader, but seeing some strength in yesterday's weakness. The likes of consumer staples, particularly key stocks in staples, larger market cap names like Procter & Gamble, making new all-time highs, and then some significant rallies near lows, the likes of Walmart being a key example here as another larger market cap name in this sector. So no matter where you look, you can see the rotation effect of the market. And the warning that was given yesterday before we had the large sell swing was, if tech falls, we basically need someone else to pick up the baton. Did we see that enough to hold the market in this elevated state? Sort of questionable with the lack of follow through in financials, and maybe a lack of conviction from healthcare, one of our third large sector, which continues to see elevated selling volume and a lack of bullish conviction near a moving average support. So markets are a bit shaky here. We're seeing a bit of froth this sort of back and forth action with regards to tech sell, financial hold and maybe bounce, healthcare caught somewhere in the middle, that leads the market into these moments in time where hedging might be the appropriate strategy. We're near highs. We're certainly seeing a lack of follow through on a range breakout, and that downside potential is yet to be seen, albeit we are just following the goalposts in regards to where are these downside targets. We'll bring things back to the IWM very quickly. The story of this breakout continues. I'm a believer that the range of this market started at approximately 230 if you're looking at the IWM. And as I bring this into our pre-market session, we are back at this breakout level. You can also see what that looks like during the breakout, this high volume event occurring near this price level and the return to back test this area. So if this market is to be bullish moving forward, then ultimately we need to see some conviction from this area, something as simple as getting out of this downside channel and using the support zone on what is a multi-month range, using this area as a bounce point for continued upside. But as always, having that first target was appropriate. As you can see, we've given back a lot of this breakout so far. So, continued risk happens to be inside the dollar. We're seeing this dollar breakout have lots of continuation. Ultimately, just seeing where this market can stall, trying to mark previous price levels, previous swing lows, monitoring the current breakout itself, seeing when this is going to pause or consolidate, and ultimately trying not to fight this trend. If you are trading the dollar using something as simple as UUP, you certainly want to be on the side of the dominant trend. But as a risk for the market, dollar strength is not necessarily the best environment for continuation. This, of course, did affect other more sensitive markets to the dollar, the likes of gold, which had a sell swing on the past two sessions this week. Looks as if we're starting with continuation, and we're seeing that pause on what was an inversely correlated market to the dollar. However, this market was breaking out during that breakout in the dollar. So interesting volatility throughout these markets. Silver as well rejecting the 200 is a notable rejection point for silver. We've seen this before. We should anticipate the same volatility moving forward. And we're certainly seeing that carry itself forward. So metals markets, ultimately seeing the pressure of the dollar breakout in the past couple of sessions. Ultimately, we can play these shorter term trends as they form, but we need to be careful of what is our dominant pressure points in the market, the likes of the dollar being the key one for metals. Shifting back to the bond market, we are caught up in a bit of dominant volatility throughout these price levels. What we've seen is a flattening of certain bond yield prices or bond yield percentages. And last week we talked a little bit about how, bring up this website, something as simple as this chart can kind of show how that flattening is starting to affect longer dated bonds inside of the 20-year and the 30-year. They continue to remain inverted at this time. And what we're starting to monitor now is how does that start to affect shorter term rates in regards to, are they starting to flatten, not necessarily invert at this time, but that flattening effect will put pressure on things like financials. Normally we talk about how the dynamic of higher interest rates is often a benefit for inflationary sectors. But a more prevailing theme is the difference in the spread from short-term to long-term interest rates. And these spreads are what truly drive profit margins on financial stocks, whether they be regional or international. The likes of KRE was our sort of secondary ETF that we were using to see some possible rotation into these more regional banks. This was a driving force for the IWM breakout, along with biotech stocks, which, as you can see, have been pulling back significantly from that recent breakout attempt. Once again, noting the 200-day moving average, very simple indicators here, but ones that continue to be respected. Ultimately, strong rallies are being stopped by this MA, and you can see the downside pressure that occurs following. Let's see. That's also true of this ETF here, which is just a different look at different biotech stocks. So let's see. Trying to remember the last part of my conversation, but ultimately, just looking at technical approach here, we have the IWM pulling back to its range support. We have the SPY at all-time highs, but putting in a false breakout look. And for the moment, we've lost momentum in our tech sector. Essentially, if you're a buyer, I think you're going to have trouble looking at yesterday's candle and saying that this is going to continue with high confidence. We're seeing large conviction on the sell swing, high volume near the highs, a pivoting type candle, that rounded reversal look in all of our key underlyings. And what we simply need to be prepared for is all of these stocks are at new all-time highs or have made a significant follow through in their dominant bullish trend. So that volatility is great while it's lasting, but as it starts to fade, we just need to be prepared for what is the next phase of the market. Where is the pullback more likely to stall? And the idea here is very simple. Where did these markets find dominant support? And where can we anticipate these back tests to come if things get more serious to the downside, if the follow through continues? Well, one thing I like to do on this shortened week is just kind of look at some of these key underlyings and say, are there some structures that we can identify? The likes of Nvidia is a key example because, one, it's a really great day trading stock, lots of volatility, lots of price action to take advantage of, and actually fairly responsive to technical levels and psychological prices. You know, seeing strong rallies off of things as simple as previous day close, or seeing reactions. That was more Tesla yesterday, previous day close, somewhere in this area. Seeing reactions off of things like whole dollars, or even just seeing the breakdowns of the market and using those as sort of top fishing plays. Using the market weakness to your advantage to try and capture these overextended stocks. But we need to respect the fact that these are at all-time highs. They're bullish in the larger time frames. So when we look at our dailies, we can see that there's a bit of structure to take advantage of. For one, Nvidia had some very clear top resistance that formed this false breakout into its earnings. So this level is very clear on our daily. And what we'll be looking for is, can Nvidia find some support here on an intraday basis and simply avoid falling into another structure, which is our gap. As we know, with gap fill plays, they're often very challenging to find support in between the gap because they reflect a lack of conviction by the market to leave inventory. There's no price activity in these areas. Pull it up to an hourly chart. While we have that aftermarket look to it, we pull up just a 10-day, it leaves these zones of lack of liquidity, lack of inventory, and oftentimes the downside through a gap is just bringing you back to a more dominant inventory zone, basically a volume profile shelf in an area where the market has transacted much more heavily in the past. So if you're looking bearish on Nvidia, one thing you can do is simply look at the option market and say, what are the option traders predicting for this stock for the rest of the week? Here we have our 26 Nov expiration. We see something like a $15 expected move based on yesterday's close at about 320. So if Nvidia is to basically achieve that entire expected move based on a 320 close, we can anticipate some downside all the way to 305. And that brings us approximately to that gap fill area. We can also anticipate the upside potential. If the option market is really getting it correct after yesterday's sell-off, then a bounce for Nvidia from 320 has some possible upside to about 335. And just kind of anticipating what that could look like on an intraday session, where would those support zones be, and what sort of volatility can we expect for the rest of the week. Now, you can do this activity with other stocks, but the reason I bring up Nvidia is because there's actual structure to take advantage of on the daily chart. There's previous levels, there's this gap. And ultimately, if we just see a bounce off of the gap high, which is the previous resistance level, then that can have follow through to the upside, reflective of that approximately $15 expected move. Remember, from 320, not necessarily from the bounce point. So all this wrapped together, we have a shortened week. We need to be aware of this higher volatility that has crept into the market on Monday. And we also just need to note that as of now, we have an expected move that is the same width as last week, which is a full 5 trading sessions. And yet we did not have upper or lower tests. So that volatility can come into this market very quickly, and just look for that continuation look for the bears as they have set the stage for that false breakout and that possible back test of the lower support zone of the market. So keep all that in mind. As always, trade safe. And as we shift into tomorrow's session, should be the last engineering the market session for the week. We will be looking at bond yield curves, looking at the flattening of the longer dated curves at this time, and what effects that has on the overall market conditions. So with that said, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right, let's try that again. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market prep. Audio check. Can you guys hear me okay? Norm?
Yep, hear you
Oh,
great.
okay,
Of
perfect.
course, I'm not
All right.
listening to you through the room, so let's hear from every. Yep, they say yes.
Okay,
Good
very good.
morning.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning, guys. Hope you had an incredible day yesterday. So let's get to some of the action we had here. I actually did not get to trade yesterday morning. My daughter has some doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, so took care of that yesterday. But let's take a look here. I did come back in the afternoon and see some of the action that took place, especially with something like a Neo, guys. Let's take a look at Neo yesterday. Market open, you get this beautiful breakout. Let me get you to our correct chart here so you can see the 5 minute on Neo. Let's bring that in here. There we go. So that's your 5 minute right there on Neo, guys. Just an incredible breakout. And I love these breakouts when they're doing it at a level in the pre-market. They tend to turn out pretty nice. Yesterday, Neo broke out of this 4069 level that we had. Just look at the continuation they had there. A very deep pullback for another leg up here. So again, very tough to trust that pullback there. Came down almost below the VWAP, and then you can see how beautiful this thing took off here. Very interesting range yesterday. I know things were very volatile based on what Jai was advising us this morning, and all the news breaking out with the SPY. And you can see here the drop all the way back down, almost well, not almost, right past the market open. So again, big drop on Neo, followed by another bounce. So very, very wide range yesterday intraday for Neo. Loser was another one that also popped up pretty nice. Not as clean as Neo, but you can see here also had a nice continuation. And again, another drop as well from mid-morning into the middle of the day there. Plug didn't have as much luck as popping up. It's just sold down the entire time here. They give you a kind of false breakout here above this, again, this level, which I love, the pre-market highs, this 45.76. Nice breakout there, and then slams back down, grabs onto the 9 moving average, and never really looks back there. So you can see that beautiful drop there. Nvidia, very active, continues to trade very well in the intraday. Look at this beautiful 5 minute open range breakdown. You also have a 1 minute that was very nice here as well. If you look into the smaller time frames, and just look at this clean traded from Nvidia. I mean, I don't think we ever seen Nvidia trading so clean like it has in the last couple of weeks. Really, just insane. Nice double top here, although you have to be patient. Didn't happen right away. Double top, and then this beautiful drop below the VWAP. Nice continuation. A lot of stocks dropping within this time frame, right? This 10 o'clock time frame down into the noon time frame. You can see a lot of that drop being happening there. Apple, wow, I did not take a look at Apple yesterday. Look at this, guys. Man, this was nice. Beautiful chart here, guys. Nice takeoff. Went from a 161 to 165. I mean, what a move for Apple there. So that's really nice. Doesn't sell down as much as many of the other stocks did, right? Nvidia, Neo, all these other ones just came crashing down towards the open. Apple kind of held, but it made up for that at the market close. Before the market close, made up for that big
Oh
time
yeah.
here. Look at the volume. Nor, is there any specific news that we know of
Tech
on Apple?
got slammed yesterday.
Yeah.
It was pretty much all of tech in the afternoon just got destroyed. So I
Wow.
was going to mention that Jared touched on that a little bit, so I won't completely rehash it. But I'm a little bit surprised the market's as flat as it is this morning, opening up after that getting destroyed yesterday. We've got market at manufacturing and services PMI at 945. That's all the data, and then tomorrow a huge data dump. Um, we'll see how everything's looking then. So
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, let's jump in here into our gappers list this morning. We got a couple of things here in the red, a couple in the green. Not as bad this morning. Look how quiet this gappers list is. And maybe now that I mentioned, I'm kind of going to mess things up, right? But look how quiet it is right now. It is a very short list on both sides, and we haven't seen that in some time. So SPY looking interesting, as Nor mentioned. Let's get over here into our gappers list. Let's remove the stuff from yesterday. We'll go ahead, Control A, Control X, cleans that up on our Dash Trader Pro watch list, and then we can
pull
start.
that epic pin off your fundamentals window too, if you would.
Oh, yes. Man, I wish this thing was saved somewhere else. But every morning opens up right on that. There's tons of screen real estate here, and it decides to
Yeah,
open up right on that spot.
of course.
Um, of course. All right, let's get going. ISPC is not linked. Let's get linked our trade ideas. Let's link that up. This is something we have to do every morning here. Tools, external linking. Let's go ahead and link our trade ideas to our montage. We're going to go ahead and click shift, hit OK, and we are good to go. So let's get this out of the way. And then for some reason, always minimizes everything. We'll bring this back and we are good here. All right, so APVO this morning, taking a little bit of a pop here. They are up 114%. Wow, that is a nice chunk of a change there we're getting on a APVO, and this is a low flow stock sitting at 4.6. Very, very active. Norm, what's your take on this one, APVO?
Yeah, I traded this one in KTTA a little bit already this morning. Just a few bucks, but they had a report on a cancer drug, and some positive effects on that. So blowing up this morning, obviously.
All right, doing very well, guys. Definitely low flow of the day right now, looking nice. So starting off on the right side of things, so the APVO looking very good. ISPC, another low flow, which is not looking as great. They do have 9.8 million shares traded, so they got quite some volume here. Looks like the action started, continued in the after hours yesterday. Nice little movement here, and then we're seeing some of that this morning. It's okay. I'm concerned for the second day here, right? We gapped up yesterday, sold off. We're gapping up today now, or right in the middle of the range. It could be suspect, this one. I'm going to keep it off my list for now. Norm, do you like that one or?
I agree with you. Watch out on this because this is a second day play. I traded this one ISPC pre-market yesterday. So
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I mean, it had a good run, but they can get a little hectic.
Yeah, pre-market, yes, you could see that, a beautiful run there. And again, second day, we'll have to see. You can see how some of the indecision is happening here right now. So just be careful on that one. AADI, I see a couple of you guys throwing that out there with some excitement. So let's see what's going on. AADI here. No, this is what I'm talking about with these lower flow stocks, right? This is sitting at 10 million. And when you get this pop initially very early on, 4 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m., whatever, and then you start doing this is no good, right? I don't like that. This year APVO is quite the opposite, right? This is what you want to see. And you can see the volume pouring into this candle after candle. I mean, every candle is almost hitting a million shares traded. That is nice.
The volume, like you said, this AADI has no volume.
Right.
Minute by minute, it's a few hundred shares traded. You'll get destroyed on this one.
And then out of nowhere, you get this one little pop of 80,000. It could just be one guy. I mean, it's just, guys, no good.
The spread's horrible. Yeah. Run.
Let's go down to XPEV this morning. They are looking good on their daily for a possible breakout, guys. They're up almost 5% right now, 491,000. I like XPEV this morning. Let's take a look at NEO as well, which has been very active. Their daily's not as clean as XPEV. XPEV has such a nice daily, right? NEO's a little bit all over the place.
XPEV had earnings overnight.
Nice.
So
okay.
That's their catalyst, and that's what it's a better pick than NEO this morning. NEO reported a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I like XPEV. I like their daily here, the way they're setting up as well. Pre-market looking good. Got some volume. Going to add that on there for now. Jenny, GENI. No, this is no good, guys. Look at this action. 104,000. Just nothing to see here. Let's move on to JD. JD, it's just so difficult to trade. I mean, I don't know. I won't give them credit for yesterday. I mean, everything dropped off yesterday, right? You could have traded anything else and got a good move. So I don't give them too much credit. But outside of that, we've seen their pre-market action and their intraday action. It's just been weird. So I don't know. They have 401,000 shares traded right now. They've been making a lot of noise the last couple of weeks with some decent moves on the daily here. Not sure. Maybe possible. Let's see. Maybe we'll come back to it. Let's see what we get there. Here's Mara this morning. No, I don't think this is looking too good right now. You kind of have some good action here for the breakout, right? Nice play here. Look how wide these candles are. That's pretty good there. Then we just kind of got stuck in this consolidation, and I don't think we're really in play right now until something else happens with Bitcoin there. MU, how did it trade yesterday? I know somebody brought it up because it was gapping up yesterday. I did not keep it on the list. But it looks like it had a good market open, a drop like everything else did from around 10, 11 to noon. So that's nothing significant there. Their daily's a little bit funky, I have to say. Yeah, I'm not sure about MU. I'm going to keep it off the list, guys. If something happens great there, you can call it back out. CLF this morning, they are... CLF, no. This doesn't look good. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a horrible trading stock. I think we looked at this in the past plenty of times.
Most days it is. Every
Yeah.
once in a while you'll get a decent trend day on it, but it's few and far between.
We'll skip on that one. All right, let's see what's gapping down, guys. Gtech, low flow. This stuff has been making noise the last 2-3 days. I remember the name. Here they are down 19.7. This is no fun now. This is you got to be careful with this, right? Second, third days are usually very choppy. Be careful. I'm not going to have this on my list. We don't even have shares for sure on it. Even if we did, right? Let's not put excuses here. Let's not try to make this look better. It's just, I don't see anything good on this one, guys. BBY this morning. Okay, now we're seeing something great here. BBY. This is Best Buy. Okay, Best Buy taking a nice hit. What's going on?
In earnings, and they're getting destroyed because they can't get product to sell.
Huh. Yeah, taking a very, very big hit here, guys. They're down 13%, 419,000 shares traded, which for Best Buy is a lot of volume. These guys normally don't trade all that heavy volume in the pre-market. They don't move as much. They've been having a great October though, and November, giving half of this move back. Man, that sucks for them, but good for us. We'll add it on here. Great pre-market action. Down 13%, looking very good for us there. URBN this morning. No, what is this? Urban Outfitters. Norm, you know this stock, right? It's no bueno.
Right? Well, they had earnings last night. They're getting smacked on that. It's when I've seen it before, it hadn't traded great. So
yeah. So I think we can find something better today. Let's move on to Zoom, it's
a big drop on not much volume on a pretty decent catalyst, so that concerns me.
Right. What's the catalyst, by the way?
Earnings.
Earnings. Night. Oh, okay. Yeah. It is. Volume is so light, man. 137 this morning, so not a whole lot going on there at the moment. Here is Zoom. So Zoom is taking a nice dive here, down 9.5, 305,000 shares traded. They could be funky, more often than not, they're going to trade a little bit choppy. I like this gap down today. I like the fact that they're losing some levels here of support. I mean, there's just, man, look at this. Zoom here, gap down, another gap down here.
Earnings last night as well.
Man, they are not having fun.
Obviously, people going back to offices and slowing their growth.
Yeah. So we'll put Zoom on here, guys. Again, this is great pre-market action for them. They don't trade very well, and it actually should be more of a possible, but I do like this drop here, and we'll see if that can create some good activity for us into the market open. ANF is no good, guys. I mean, this thing just looks like a mess. We'll skip on to Go EV here. Go EV this morning, we're getting a little bit of volume, 246. I'm not a big fan of Go EV. I think out of all the EV type plays, I think Neo, Lucid, there's some other ones that just trade very, very clean. I mean, yesterday had a nice little pop here, right? But so did Neo and so many other ones. Today they're on the fence here, down 3.2 for 246,000. We'll come back to it. Let's come back to it. Let's give it a little more time. OCGN. No, I don't think OCGN is good for us this morning. Looks choppy right now. Not great volume. Pretty much stuck in a consolidation, looks like. It's just been stuck in this range for some time here. I like when things are breaking out. They give you a better chance of a possible continuation, right? That is why we want things on the breakout. If you're stuck within a range, yes, you can get a move, but that means you have a tight range to play in. You got to get at the bottom to get to the top, or bottom to the bottom, or top to the bottom. It just gives you less opportunities, right? When things are breaking out, you can get more momentum and more continuation, which is very nice for your P&L. AFMD here, they're down 2.1. 101. No. Let's run for this. Is this no? I'm confusing with a doctor's app or something. I'm not sure what.
Why are people talking about Hump Day on Tuesday?
No, not yet.
No.
A little bit ahead of ourselves there. DKS here, another one that doesn't trade very well. We see it once in a while when they have earnings. I'm not sure if that was the case last night. Might have been this movement here, right? Horrible.
Yeah, they had earnings, but I don't like dicks.
Yeah, me neither, man. They're not good. They're not good. At least not for me. All right, so let's look at let's look at gold. Let's look at gold here. GOLD this morning. I mean, we don't usually keep this on our watch list, guys.
Throw it away.
Yeah, there's other tickers you can watch, and if just I'm not gonna keep this one on here. Don't like it. Norm, do you have anything you like this morning? Because our pickings are a little bit slim today.
Lucid. I mean, it's been in play a lot recently, so I'm going to keep that on my list. APVO and KTTA.
Yeah,
Low floats.
Yeah, Lucid is a great. And what's the other one? AK?
KTTA.
Oh, KTTA. All right. Let's see here. That's a low float, you said. Yeah, this has got some good volume, guys. 13 million.
And ISPC. I don't know if this one will get going again. APVO, I gave you that one. Yeah, I like APVO the better out of these. I don't know. They'll have to start going higher again. They could be played out, so you just got to be patient and see if anything happens.
Yeah, I agree. They're all of these are in play, guys. Up 95, up 106, and the 82% on these. The numbers look great right now. So very nice there. Okay, let's head on down to the chat room, guys. What do you guys like this morning? Starting with Mr. Jones, LVGN. LVGN, did I spell that right? LVGN, I did, but that's not coming up. KTTA, we have on deck already. Norm just gave us that one. Captain J or CPTJ. Let's look at XL. XL this morning. We looked at this before. I mean, this looks good, don't get me wrong, but we know how this stock trades. It could be so bad, so choppy, even with the 1.1 million shares being traded today. They don't trade a whole lot of volume. I want to take my opportunities and chances elsewhere.
It's volume this morning with 1.2 million shares traded.
What was that? Say it again.
It's got volume this morning.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But it's so choppy, man.
That 5 minutes, a troublesome looking chart right there.
Yeah. It's not a good 1.1. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I think everything else. I think we'll find better opportunities, and we've seen this pop up in our list before, XL, and we kept it on our list, and man, it is just a brutal stock, Melvin. So be careful if you're going to be keeping that one on in stock there. LGVN. Oh, so that's the ticker. LGVN. That's the correct.
We
ticker
looked
there.
at that, didn't we?
No, we looked at it, but it was incorrect. They gave me. Oh no, we did on the gap down. Yeah, we did.
On the gappers list.
Yeah, it's on the gappers list here.
Brian had a swing trade on this thing. He took it
yesterday.
0 to 1,000. Yeah.
Oh man, very nice, guys. Has great volume. I mean, 2.9 million. They're down 4.3 here. I'm just concerned with the what was this, the third day now of the madness? Maybe the fourth day. Had a great day yesterday. I think it's going to be a difficult one to get into today as far as intraday trades, but I'll put it as a possible, even for entertainment purposes. We'll see how this thing is going to play out today. But yeah, it's scary at the moment with the way it is on the daily. XL, we looked at Ford. Oh, what happened to B Big? Let's look at B Big. We don't like B Big too much, but they got another one that has 1 million shares traded, and it just has a horrible pre-market activity. And these guys trade pretty bad in the at the market open as well. So gonna keep those guys off the list for now. Let's look at Ford, another one that we don't like.
Last night. That's the story on B Big.
Yeah. I just, again, we look at XPEV, we look at BBBY, even Zoom this morning and lose it. They look so much better. So. It's just, I think we have better opportunities with those there. And then we looked at Ford. Again, I'm not a big fan of Ford, guys. I don't really trade Ford, even when they have news, whatever. I just don't keep them on the list. Allo, ALLO this morning. They are Chris MC. What's going on, man? What's going on? Me and you've been with us for some time, Chris MC. You're giving us Allo. What's going on here? This is a no. I mean, 200 shares.
200 shares traded.
Can we block Chris for the day or no? Is that possible? Just for the day, because I love the guy. Let's just for the day. He'll come back tomorrow. No, just kidding, Chris. We love you, man. Microsoft here. They're down a little bit, 1.8 million. Great volume. I just don't see how this volume is trading in the pre-market though. And I know tech got killed yesterday, right? So maybe that's the volume being traded that way. I don't even know what to think on this one. What about Nvidia? Nvidia's been very good. I like Nvidia better, guys. Look at the volume we're getting here. Look at the movement. Nvidia, I think, will be very interesting. You know what? And let's look at Apple, because I had some stuff yesterday too. I think Apple would be a good possible to have as well. All right, PLTR from SAC Attack is giving us PLTR. Let's look here. No, I think I typed that wrong. Hold on. PL, PLTR. There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, PLTR was good yesterday too, right? I mean, they had a nice, had a beautiful drop here. So, I mean, I wish their daily would trade as good as their. I'm sorry, I wish their intraday would trade as good as their daily. Their daily looks amazing here, but let's put it. No, let's put it here. PLTR. We'll take a second look at it. PLTR, very good, and so that's good there. Okay, let's stop here, guys. Well, we have quite a bit. Let's take a few from YouTube. We have PayPal. So you're giving us PayPal, PYPL. I know they've been very, very active, guys. The last week, all last week, just taking a hit here. And if you look at the intraday here, it's been really, really nice. I didn't look at it yesterday, but look at yesterday. Yesterday also, a nice big drop there, followed by an incredible bounce, but still a nice drop there. This morning, they don't have a whole lot of volume, but you cannot put too much weight on that because PayPal doesn't really care too much about the pre-market action. At the market open, they can do something. I'll put it on here for PayPal right now. We'll see if it does anything. For Jose, yeah, that was brought up in our chat as well. I'm just not a big fan of the way 4 moves. And Norm will tell you, I mean, it can take forever to get a move on this thing. I don't know. And it trades funky too. LGVN, we looked at it on our secondary. So thank you for that one. I mean, LGVN, yep. Jose, mRNA, what are you giving us there? mRNA, pretty quiet right now. No volume at the moment, so I don't see that active. Apple, yes, I have Apple. Jose. Yeah, no way, Jose. I have Apple here. Apple, I think, is interesting. Nvidia is really interesting, as they're, have some great volume there. And MU, we looked at. I don't think MU looks great, though, at the moment. Gtech, did we look at? Yeah, we looked at Gtech. Let's remind ourselves what Gtech looks like here. Yeah, this is no good. I don't. Again, can it completely change direction and have another day like it did yesterday? I mean, that's incredible, right? From 7 all the way up the highs of 1250. I mean, that's great. But right now, with the information we have, this doesn't look like it wants to do anything great today. So let's wait for it to hit the scanners. I'm sure some people will be having it on their secondary list, and they'll call it out in the chat room. Zoom, we do have. That's on our main list already. Ruben, you're giving us EA and a couple of gaming stocks. Is there any news on EA that you're giving us both of these? I see they've been getting killed the last couple of days. I'm not sure on what news. Pre-market for them is really, I'm not going to say no on this one, but pre-market is usually just like this for them. They don't get anything pre-market. And look what they did. Look what they do, right? They can move. But typically, this is not the case for EA. So I wonder if there's any news that's causing some of this.
They give you EA and which one? Because I know ATVI got
right?
Yeah, they got downgraded this morning or yesterday.
Yeah. I know these both are gaming, right? So, yeah, but they're not looking great, though. I think they don't beat the stuff that we have on our main list to compare what we have going on right now. I know Roblox has been very active, guys, after this gap up a couple of weeks ago. Man, look at the hit they took yesterday. I like many stocks did, right? But they took a nice hit yesterday. Possible continuation here on Roblox today. Yes, I think so. I think so. Possible. I'm not a huge fan of the way they trade. But I do have to say the last couple of days, this is not normal trading for Roblox. They've been trading very, very good the last couple of days. Silvio, we'll take 2 more here. ZG, no volume on this thing. I don't even know what company is this. ZG. This is like a... Oh, Zillow.
Zillow, but
wait,
it's,
what?
That's Zillow. Zillow also trades under Z.
Yeah.
So it's different share classes. I mean, I don't see anything in either one of them this morning, though.
I don't see anything good there.
No volume.
No good. And then let's look at Oxy. That's the last one today. Actually, for a possible bounce, maybe, right? Had a good day yesterday, as you can see here. Yeah, this could be a hit or miss. Depends on that my overall market is going to be. I don't see anything happening great in the pre-market right now. Not that doesn't mean it can trade well. It all depends how that whole oil stuff is going to be doing today. But again, I think our list looks pretty good today. Even our low flows are looking great. Oh, look at ISPC, guys, starting to come alive a little bit here towards the way up, towards that pre-market high. That is what you want to see. Hopefully it can hold there. And yeah, we got some pretty good low flows today here. All right, let's stop here, guys. Let's go to our community events and announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list.
Yeah, guys, nothing on webinars. Quiet week, but we'll be picking back up on those next week for the full slate of webinars that we always do. Stay tuned. Just a reminder, all Super Chat, Super Sticker revenue for November is being donated to the Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research, match dollar for dollar by BBT and Andrew. Don't forget our stock trader, our simulator is out. It is free to the public. All you have to do is go to stocktradingsimulator.com. And you can replay old data, or past data. I shouldn't say old data, past data from previous days in the market, and test out new strategies, old strategies, hone your skills. Also, remember, down at the bottom right-hand side, you can sign up for that newsletter, and you'll get essentially homework assignments a couple times a week from Eamon and Simon that look for trades to try out and run those through the simulator. So sign up there when you go over there. If you would like to try out the room, if you'd like to try out the chat and you have not before, you can go to bearbulletraders.com, scroll about halfway down the page. You'll find that test drive now button. Click it and then sign up. Use the promo code premarket24. It is one payment. It does not recur. It'll give you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the chat, unless there's a holiday like there is this week. Markets closed Thursday, half day Friday. Market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And then if it cancels after that. If you'd like to continue, you have to choose a different membership category. And if you'd like to become an elite member, use the promo code Black Friday 45. You get 45% off the annual elite membership and a month of DAS Sim on us.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's get to some of these levels here. Just recap on what we have. We have XBEV on here, XBEV, which is looking very nice this morning. I like the daily also. We got BBY, right? Best Buy, also a nice big drop this morning, down 15%. So that is looking good there. Getting a little bit extended, so hopefully it doesn't become a chop at the open. Even Zoom today is looking nice, guys. Losing this level here. I'm going to mark this down now since we have it here. This 217. It tried to hold that here in the pre-market. We're losing that this morning. So that is looking good there after a nice drop, down 10%. Definitely in play. Lucid just been so active. We got to have this one on the list the last couple of weeks, really, but especially last week. You've seen an increase in volume, a lot of activity on the daily, and just some explosive play on this one here. So and the key with Lucid, guys, it can change directions quickly. I bring you back to what happened, I believe it was last week, right? Last week, you had Andrew took a short, and then as soon as he parsed and got out, you could saw the bounce from there. Jared took a long, right? In a matter of a range of 5 minutes, right? So it changes directions quick. You got to be fast on your feet on this one, and make sure that if it's going against you, you get out. You can always get back in at a later time if your strategy comes back into play. So very, very important. Here's Nvidia, also looking good, guys. Was down nicely, down at 311. Now we're up above the previous day close line around 322, the high. So again, have a nice range here. And if you look at the intraday on this one, it has been trading very well as it breaks out through the high of the all-time highs here, right? So it broke the all-time highs here yesterday. Did drop because Texas got crushed, but for the most part, this stock is still very, very strong. We'll see what it does today. PLTR looking good this morning. Their daily's been getting crushed. They are definitely extended on the downside. They're getting a little bit of a breathing room over here, trying to get in the green territory. We'll see. Volume is great on this one. You guys know how we feel about this PLTR because it's on our list often. I think it could be a hit or miss, but everything looks good here. Let's see if they're in for a little bit of a bounce here, kind of some seller's relief or something. We'll see. And then we have Apple, which is okay. JD on secondary. Just checking to see if anything that's on here looks great. LGVN is okay. You don't have shares for sure on that one, but again, I just don't think you're gonna get good opportunities off the bat on that. PayPal could be interesting, and we also have Roblox as well. Big red day for them yesterday. All right, I like our list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We have 6. Let's get to some levels here. All right, expect right now. You are pretty much set, right? You're surrounded from around the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. If we look towards the bottom, I think you're pretty good here. You got some really good levels, especially this one here. You can see how many touches this thing has, how much change in direction is on there. So you're pretty much good there. Towards the bottom here, I'm going to mark down this one because this could be a good one too if we do lose some of these levels. Again, I don't think that will happen right now. I mean, we're up 4.6. And we have to go through a lot of stuff here to get to this 44, 43. But if it does, this is a great level on the daily right now. Moving towards the top, what do we have here? We are not at all-time highs, right? No, February, we saw some good stuff happening there. If we go to February, we do have an area up here, 51.14, decent daily. A better one is this one on here because you have a lot more touches, resistance happening there, some changing in direction. So that is a good one there at 54.72. Again, that's far out. If you want to get something a little bit tighter based on your trading, there is a minor, not major, it's a minor level at 52.97. You could probably do 53, the whole dollar number. There's one right on if you want to mark that down. So depending on what your trading is going to look like today, you can have that on there. But definitely 54 looking very good there for XBEV. Towards the bottom, guys, as I mentioned, you're pretty much set there. Heading down, we do have Best Buy, BBY here, taking a huge drop this morning. 117.40 is your low of your pre-market right now, and we're trying to find some kind of base somewhere here. This could be a good area for a base though, right? Because you can see you have resistance here, and you have some good support happening around this here, not quite, but around this area. So maybe you can find some support here. Either way, we're going to keep this level here. Even if we get a new pre-market low, I think this is a great level off the daily. You want to keep that area in check there. Now, towards the bottom, if we're to lose that, the next significant level that I see here on the daily is going to be this 113.86. And the way this thing is dropping today, from 138 to 117, this is not a stretch. This 113.86, right? It can get there pretty quickly based on these moves. Guys, very careful on this one. I mean, it is moving today. They normally don't move like this. Look at this candle here, up as high as 128, down to 120. You got another one here, 122, 120. So you got $2 candles on average here. So this thing, you do not need a lot of shares for your play here. So very, very careful with your risk management. 110, in case we do continue to flush here, I don't think we'll get there. But clearly 110, you can see the levels of support you're getting around 110 there as well. Now let's look towards the top in case we get a bounce. This is very extended on the daily right now, right? Very, very extended. So 121, a good area here. You have a couple of days showing resistance, opening and closing right around that area. You have another pop all the way over here at 124, another place you can have some support, resistance, maybe change in direction. You can see that in the pre-market already. That's been those two daily levels, obviously, that they're just not random levels, right? You can see in the pre-market how it's playing around those levels already. Right, loses 121, goes down to the next level, 117. So there's some play there. You want to have those on your charts in case things head towards the north side here this morning. Not looking too strong right now. Here's Zoom, guys, continues to break down. Looks like we might be going for another leg here. That move there, I don't know if you guys saw that price action, that pop and that drop like that. That is no good. So we'll see. 217, we'll keep that on here, guys. It still looks very good for a level of support, even though the new low of the pre-market might be this one here, 216.03. We'll mark that down for now. So 216. Let's go back on our daily. Do we have anything below that? We should. Man, we haven't been down here. They are getting crushed. We haven't been down here in some time. Let's zoom into last year, April, May timeframes. That we're looking at. Yeah, that is what we're looking at here. So we haven't been down here in quite some time. 208.51, good area there. We have another one down here over at 198. So we got a couple towards the bottom there. I think that's pretty good. Towards the top, just in case, we do have 228.86. I think that's good there. And then right here, you have your highs and lows from the last two trading days, right, on Zoom. So back into the action right now on the daily. We can actually mark down the high of the pre-market here as well at 227 actually. Pre-market high is exactly at 227. So we'll mark that there. Yeah, so that is Zoom right now. Trying to find a little hope here at 216, but down 10% with some decent volume this morning. Here is Lucid breaking out. Again, very active. We've been stuck every day, it seems like. Between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, we have a little nice range, as you can see here, right? So we just keep making the same consolidation pattern right around here, and the price seems to come right back into its previous day close line, and then we are just stuck between these two levels, right? So as far as levels, I think the only thing you need to add here, keep this very simple, is the 52.13. Add that on there. I think you're pretty much set. You can mark down the low of the pre-market too, actually, 48.42. Put that on there as well. But for the most part, you got tons of levels on this one. You are all good to go on Lucid. 1.6 million, up 1.4, was down probably like 5%. Now we're up 1.4 and looking very good. Okay, here's Nvidia, which has been trading very, very well the last couple of weeks, as we mentioned before. Low of the pre-market sitting at 310.81. Nice area of resistance there as well. That has now become a little bit of support in the pre-market. On the daily, we have a nice consolidation that took place here, right? We're going to mark down 294.72. I don't think we'll get there unless we have some kind of day like we did yesterday, which won't be good for these guys or any of the tech companies. But 294.72 is good there. And then towards the top, guys, we got some pretty good levels here. You have this one here around 330, which is your highs from 2 days ago. And obviously your all-time highs all the way at 340-ish, 50 or something. So that is looking very nice. PLTR, let's move there this morning. Tons of levels, guys, towards the top. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You have your previous day close action here below the price action right now. I'm going to mark down 20.85 on this. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market sitting at 20.36. Again, we got great volume on this. We got really good volume. Daily looks great. Extended towards the downside for sure. Let's see what we get out of PLTR. I'm hoping that we can get some good, clean trading today on this one. All right, that is what we have, guys, on our list. Let's take a look at our moderators lineup. I'm going to bring this over. Let's see what we got going on here today. I see a lot of you guys throwing out MU. MU looks good over on YouTube, over on our chat, and I also see Eamon has it on his list. So let's just take a quick look at MU. What's going on with MU? Yeah, I see what you guys like on this possible continuation. To me, it looks a little funky, the daily, but yeah, I see it. Is there any news on these guys? I mean, this is a big pop yesterday. That's 2 days ago, right? So it would have been Friday. Yesterday popped up, came back down because tech just got killed, and today they're trying to keep going. So yeah, so the last few candles are giving us a good story here. And now that I think about it in that sense, right? Let's look at MU. We'll put it on here. Eamon, that's Eamon's only stock today, so I think we have to look at it. If Eamon only has one stock on his list and he picked MU, which such a great trader that he is, yeah, we got to watch MU, most definitely. 86 is the high of the pre-market, 86.27. You're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, especially yesterday, hitting at 87. And I think you're pretty much set. I don't think you need to add anything else on MU. So yeah, we'll add MU on there in honor of Eamon. All right, let's take a look at our moderators list. Going to bring this over. Let me disable this video so you guys don't get the mirror effect. As I am doing this, guys, over on YouTube, please slam that thumbs up button. It helps us out a whole lot here in the channel. So it does mean a lot to us when you guys do smack that thumbs up, and we appreciate it very, very much. We'd love to get to 300 today. That would be great. I'm not sure what the likes are at, but 300 is always a great number for us. If you can help us get there, we highly appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look here, guys. Let's start with Thor. Man, Thor is doing his list early nowadays, guys. Have you guys noticed that? Thor is like 8:30, 8:40. Thor is ready to go with his watch list. So Thor, starting here with Apple, DKS, Lucid, XPF, secondary list, Neo, and DKNG. Mike is looking at Apple, Nvidia, and BBY, all looking good this morning. Peter, no IPOs, a couple of SPACs today. Peter is looking at AMD, Apple, Lucid, secondary list is Neo, Nvidia, BBY, and APVO, which is a low flow right now, up 55%, 10 million shares traded on that one. So we have a couple of low flows that are looking very good this morning. Watch this for Dima. She's looking at Apple, MU, XBEF, and JD. Potential shorts for Eamon. Only thing on his list right now is MU. And we have Tiffany looking at Nvidia, Lucid, and secondary list, BBY, Tesla, and MU for her there. So that is what we got going on the moderators lineup. So we're done a bit early, right? Well, we got a couple of minutes, 3 minutes. Anything else going on that we should look at? Let's take a look at our secondary list. We have Apple, which probably could replace some of the stuff we have on the main list. I mean, Apple, that's great volume, guys. 2.1 million. I know that pre-market action doesn't look great right now, but that volume, that is good stuff. Let's see. Who can we take out of here? I would probably replace PLTR with Apple. I think we take our chances with Apple. I'm going to put down PLTR. I know it will be probably a little bit tech heavy, but that's okay. That's what's hot right now, right? We go where the volume is and what's hot, and the tech sector is obviously the area that's been pretty hot the last couple of days. So there is Apple. I'm going to move that one up instead. I think this looks a lot better. This morning we have MU, which I like the daily, but I'm on the fence with this pre-market action. We'll see. Nvidia, Lucid, Zoom, BBY, and XPath. Yeah, we are looking very good, guys. Very good here. Let's see. Microsoft got volume and breaking down. We looked at Microsoft earlier, and it wasn't great. Let me check if things have changed. Yeah, they have 2.3 million shares traded here. Again, a lot of tech companies doing great volume. Nvidia 1.2. Got Apple with 2.1. I mean, it's just crazy out there with these right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I have way too many. Way too many. I gotta get rid of some. Maybe we'll figure it out. I'll get rid of. I'll continue to fine tune this as Brian and Andrew get fired up to trade live this morning. As they get on here, we will continue to fine tune this a little bit better. But yeah, there's way too many there for us to watch. But outside of that, guys, I think we are all set. Thank you so much over on YouTube for joining us this morning, guys. We appreciate it. You guys being with us. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing. We are live Monday through Friday in the mornings with Engineering the Markets and also with pre-market prep with Norman I. So take care, guys. Stay safe. Tonight, there's no success webinar. So just remember, this week is with the holidays. We'll be taking off a couple of webinars. So there's no success webinar tonight. We will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in the morning. So take care, guys. Stay safe. Hit that thumbs up and have a good one.